welcome to Diecast Restos. My name is Jason and this is a Husky 19A Commer Walk-Thru van. It was produced by them between 1965 and 1969. The most common colour for these models would have been yellow like mine once was, until a previous owner decided to completely cake it in blue paint. Mine is also missing one of its red sliding doors, with the only other body colour variation matching their shade. Here is a mint yellow van, while this is a period poster from Commer. I have some footage of a moving walk-through van featured in the video outro. This casting featured the first metal base on a Husky model. It is retained by a front rivet post and a tongue and slot fitment at the back. The base also includes a very gaunt looking cast metal driver. These were painted grey initially before later simply being plated. The sliding door mechanism is quite straightforward, where the plastic doors sit between grooves in the roof and on the base. I will try as always to salvage this transparency plastic, but it looks like it has warped over time. I already have a donor model lined up for the missing door, as reproductions for any of its parts aren't produced yet. That has a decent looking window piece that I can borrow if required. After removing the decades old fluff from the axles, I can grind down the burr that holds the once grey plastic wheels on. Underneath the axle you'll notice a spongy plastic tube, which is the crude suspension method Husky employed for this casting. My donor was missing both of those, so I suspect that they are easily lost. Now it's time to dunk all of those paint afflicted plastic parts in Dettol and see how they come out after a good soaking. Introduced in 1961 by the Roots Group, the Commer Walk-Thru van quickly became a favourite among businesses and tradespeople. Its standout feature was reflected in its name, the innovative walk-through design. This allowed drivers to easily move between the cab and the cargo area without stepping outside. This seamless access was revolutionary, especially for delivery drivers who could now save time and stay protected from the elements. Another design feature of the walk-through van was its higher driving position, which helped to improve visibility and comfort, a rare luxury for commercial vehicles at the time. The versatility of the walk-through van made it a great workhorse across various industries. From delivering milk and bread to serving as mobile workshops for tradesmen and even seeing conversion to campers, it had significant adaptability. It was robust, durable, and came with a range of petrol or diesel engine options. Maintenance costs on the Commer were low. The wide opening doors and flat load floor made loading an easier task, with the design lending itself to the working professional. When it was launched by Commer in 1961, it was designed to replace the BF van. I've featured the BF in a couple of different videos on the channel. The 47B Commer ice cream canteen, where I took on a pair back in 2022, with another older 69A Commer 30 hundredweight Nestle van also being based on the BF. I restored that in 2023. While the BF had a 1.5 tonne payload capacity and continued on in production until 1966, the walk-through van offered 1.5, 2 and 3 tonne capacities. As well as in van guise, it was also sold as a chassis option, essentially removing the walk-through ability its name promised. The walk-through was built in the UK, Spain and in low numbers in New Zealand. Over the years, it was modernised and would lead a long existence. It began being sold under the Dodge brand later in its life, before being replaced by the Dodge 50 series in 1979. So far, things have come along nicely with my restoration. Yes, I have needed to utilise a donor window plastic and borrow a door as expected, but everything has otherwise been released from its cloak of blue paint. The body, now primed, is ready to receive its hit of colour. I've chosen the softer high coat Ford Jasmine Yellow to recreate the shade of the Husky original. It's an unusual colour, but it's far less brash than some of my Tamiya alternatives. With that being the last metal part requiring colour, I move on to clear coating. The TS81 Royal Light Grey sprayed base gets it first, before the body is coated. Note that there was never any trim applied to this Husky model. I think it would have benefited from paint to the headlights at the very least, but I wanted to keep my restoration true to the original as ever. With spraying complete, I reassemble the base with those tubes inserted back into the gap below the axles for the suspension. The axle ends are squared off to retain the wheels, and finally each axle end has some molotochrome applied to them. So here were the sum of parts that make up a Husky 19A Commer Walk-Thru van. In first is the large blue tinted transparency. Next it's the doors, which slot into guides cast into the roof. It's now a bit of a balancing act to keep both in place, ready to accept the base. That connects at a rear tongue and slot fitment, and because the front rivet post was too narrow to drill and tap, I've used a dab of glue to help secure this one. So here was how my Husky Commer Walk-Thru van was looking. Completely dressed in a light blue paint job by a previous owner, I had a challenge on my hands to remove all of the damage. As it was in need of a replacement left-hand door, I required a donor casting, since no reproduction parts are yet made for these. While I was taking that door, I also took the transparency from the donor too, as this one was just too far gone to repair. But here is what I have done with it. It's looking factory fresh with a complimentary coat of Ford Jasmine Yellow, a borrowed door and transparency, and paint remove plastic parts. That paint was extremely stubborn, so much so that it had warped the old transparency completely out of shape. I really like the combination of yellow body, red doors, blue transparency, dark grey wheels and light grey base. They are fun primary colours that help this casting really stand out, yet I don't think they make it look too toy-like either. The one change I'd make to it would be to add in the headlight trim, but what would you change? Let me know in the comments, and please do leave the video a like if you enjoyed this classic Husky resurrection. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of my latest releases, and click that bell icon to be notified. But all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.